Welcome everyone to this third key of learning English, which is finding the time to learn English. To begin, I'll quickly remind you of the first key, which is listen to a lot of English content. The second key was repeat, 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 which will reinforce the learning from all the content you listen to by giving your brain what it needs to really absorb new words and begin to use them without thinking about it. The first question I have then is, have you listened to my last video 3 times? If the answer is yes, then congratulations. If the answer is no, well, then I'll say congratulations after you've done it. Joking aside, let's get into the third key of learning English. At the outset, it is really important that you understand something. Namely, that if you want to be able to speak English and reach a high level, you need to listen to English content 30 to 60 minutes every day. I can't stress this enough. It is so much more effective to do a little every day, but consistently over many months, instead of to do like 3 hours for 10 days, but for a short amount of time. This happens to a lot of people who begin a process super motivated and they want to see results fast. They start well, but after a few weeks, they slowly decrease their English learning until after a couple weeks, they abandon it completely or do it irregularly. Then a lot of people tell themselves they're just not made to learn languages and that they tried and failed. So it's important to do just a little every day, but to do it consistently. Which brings us to the real question at the heart of today's third key of learning English. Finding the time to learn every day. All of us find ourselves in more or less the same situation, needing to find time to do more of the things we want to do. I said find time, but a better expression would be to create time. As I said, you need to put in about 30 to 60 minutes a day if you truly want to improve. But we all have busy lives. We all have work, families, we have our friends, our studies, and our hobbies. Then there's just the challenges of everyday life. We all have so much to do, but this can't be an excuse to keep us from developing as people and in certain areas we deem important. A lot of people say, I don't have the time for learning English. And I think this is a bit of an error. Of course, everyone is free to think how they want. But I think this is an error. Everyone can and must find time to invest in areas to improve themselves or their situation, and learning a language is one of the greatest investments you can possibly make. Especially with English, it provides access to a huge world, not just with native speakers, but a whole world of non-native English speakers who use it to communicate all over the world. Not to mention the job opportunities and career advancement possibilities. Hopefully you're motivated now, because I'm going to talk about how to create time to learn English in your life. The good news is it's pretty simple, and I'm quite confident anyone can create time. You just need to use your dead time. So what exactly is dead time? Well, these are all the moments in the day where your brain is free, but your body is occupied. For example, like when you're driving the car, or cooking dinner, or cleaning the house or apartment, or walking the dog, or buying groceries. Of course, if you take the bus or other public transport, you have a lot of dead time. And all of this could be used to learn English. This is what I did with French. Once I found that podcast, I started listening to it in all sorts of situations. Doing yard work, like raking the leaves or trimming the hedges, and especially when driving to work. And it's kind of crazy to think about. Nothing else changed in my life. I didn't go to French classes or travel for a 1-month language course in Paris. Basically, I didn't change one thing in my life, except to listen to something different while I drove to work. And now, 3 years later, I speak French at an advanced level and can listen to podcasts made for French native speakers and just enjoy it. That's another important thing to understand about this process. It's actually just an incredible pleasure. For me, I'm just listening to interesting things, stuff that I would be interested in, even in English, but I use it to learn French. Honestly, I think I might have a weird connection to French sometimes, because I've lived in Germany for over a decade, and I learned German because it's obviously useful to speak German in Germany. And I did enjoy learning German and found the language interesting. But my relationship with German is nothing like mine with French. I just find French so beautiful and I love hearing it. Is it possible to be in love with a language? So I don't know what English sounds like to you. It's hard for me to imagine it's as beautiful as French, but I still think English is a language worth speaking, as so much of the world speaks it, and there are a lot of job opportunities with it. Anyway, the subject of what to listen to is a key for another day. Today's third key is just to focus on using the dead time in your day to find or create time to learn English. Again, to target that 30 to 60 minutes per day. For example, every morning when you drive to work or school, you could listen to one podcast episode. That's already 20 to 30 minutes. With all of today's technology, it's really easy and convenient to download your favorite content to any device and then have it available for all these dead times, like waiting at the doctor's office, for example. It's always good to have subtitles available, especially if you're at the intermediate stage, and full transcripts of my videos are available on my website. I'll put the link in the description below this video. Remember, it's up to you to choose what content and what subjects to listen to. So choose subjects that interest you the most. We all have the same 24 hours in the day, which we can utilize the most effective way possible to achieve all the things we want. Honestly, I'm not necessarily one of these super productive people who works like 2 jobs, has a family and children, and somehow creates his own business on the side. I'm sure these people are great examples of how to maximize efficiency, but it's not necessary to improve English and finally start speaking at the level you want. Really, you just need to find the dead time in your day. Before we leave, I'll quickly review the keys we have covered so far. The first key was listen to a lot of authentic English content. The second key was repeat, repeat, repeat. Today, we discussed how to find, or better, create the time to learn English 30 to 60 minutes a day by utilizing the dead time in your day. Now, we're basically halfway through this mini course, and I look forward to seeing you next time to discuss the fourth key, which is to relax and trust the process. Learning English doesn't have to be stressful, and it certainly doesn't need to be boring. Learning English should actually be fun. You should think, I'm just going to learn something interesting, listening to this language that is really interesting and useful. And by the way, another really easy way to continue learning English, especially during this kind of dead time, is through my podcast, English Naturally. The podcast is a bit more relaxed and informal than these videos. I talk about language learning, work, culture, and everyday topics using clear but natural English. Because it's audio only, it's perfect for listening while driving, walking, or doing things around the house. If you enjoy this kind of content and want more listening practice without any extra effort, you can search for English Naturally wherever you listen to podcasts. I'll also put the link in the description. If these videos are helpful for you, you can support this channel by liking the video or subscribing. It really helps other learners find this content. And if you feel like it, leave a comment. I read them all and it helps me know what kind of content is most useful for you. So I'll see you tomorrow so we can see how not to make the same mistake that has led to so many unfortunate students to abandon their English learning and led these students to think they were not made for foreign languages. Before you move on, remember, listen to English you understand, listen to it more than once, and do a little every day, relaxed and without stress. If this video is helpful, listen to it again another day. Repetition is part of the learning. And when you're ready, I'll see you in the next video where we'll look at the next key to learning English.